Welcome to T2T Boxing in association with IFL TV in Macklin's Gym, Marbella. Here I'm joined by former two-time World Champion Daniel Geale. Thanks for joining me, Daniel.
Thanks.
First time we've caught up since your fight with Miguel Cotto. Didn't go as planned, but a fantastic event. I know everyone that went over there really enjoyed themselves. What were your thoughts taken away from that fight? I mean, what was it like sharing the ring with someone who looked like he really recaptured his form from earlier in his career?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was frustrating. I mean, I went out there with high expectations, and unfortunately, it didn't go the way that I wanted to. I didn't feel 100%. I kept telling myself that I was 100%, but obviously, I wasn't 100% when I went out there. I guess that's why I've decided now to make a few changes, and I'm going to go off weight division, so I don't have to go through that sort of thing again.
Yeah, absolutely. I know the weight was obviously a big issue on the week of the fight, and sparked the conversation worldwide really about catchweights. And you're obviously on the receiving end of that in this instance. What are your thoughts on catchweights, particularly for world title fights?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm with a lot of people as well. I don't think as a catchweight for a world title fight, it should be there. If it's a world title fight, they set the weight divisions. Whether the champion wants you to weigh heavier or lighter or whatever, that's the weight. The weight is set. That should be at that weight. But unfortunately, people, I guess, with more money control things that happen in boxing. But you got to take these things. I mean, we had to sign to fight at 157. Unfortunately, we didn't want to do it. We wanted to fight at 160. It would have been a little bit easier, but those are the things that happen. I was confident going over there. I felt okay, sort of just before, after rehydrating, but I wasn't back to 100%.
See, and so that's Miguel Cotto and Gennady Golovkin that you've fought in the last 18 months. Is there a fight that you've ever turned down, or what goes through your mind when you get offered these fights? No one else seems to want to fight these guys at the moment, and you're stepping in there. So what goes through your mind when you get offered a fight with Golovkin or Cotto?
Obviously, I'm happy to fight these guys. I've said early on in my pro career that I want to fight the best fighters in the world, and that still stands. Those two guys were fighters, and not a lot of people wanted to fight. But I went over there confident with both. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out the way that I wanted. There's a lot of couldas and shouldas and all that sort of thing. But to be honest, you learn from every experience, and I think I'm a better fighter from them.
Absolutely. And moving up to super middleweight now. A very, very talent-rich division here in Australia, over in the UK where you've obviously got a good following as well. Have you got your eye on anyone in particular at the moment? I know you mentioned recently that you maybe want a domestic fight first. Yeah,
definitely. I think it's about establishing myself at super middleweight. I just want to enjoy my training as well. A lot of the training camps I've had more recently have been about weight loss, and I want to get back to enjoying my training and not worrying as much about cutting weight. So at this stage, I'm not looking at anybody in particular, but I'd love to fight in Australia, in which I think we are going to fight in Australia in my next fight. Then we'll see what happens after that.
All right, perfect. And so your former rival Mundine is struggling to find a fight at the moment. A few fights have fallen through. Talk of him and Danny Green having a rematch, and so myself and Ben Damon were talking about that recently, and the event that was first time round. Is that something that you think would capture the Australian public's imagination if that was to happen again?
Danny Green and Mundine? I think there's probably been too much time in between that one. I think a lot of people that probably don't understand the smaller points in boxing probably do think that's going to be a good fight, but to be honest, I think there's too much time in between. It would have been good to see them fight again pretty soon after that first one, but unfortunately it's been a long time, so you never know. Boxing does funny things at times, so you can only wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely. And we wish you all the best. And what are your thoughts on the card that you're commentating, obviously alongside Nigel Ben and Ben Damon on the Professional Boxing Australia card here tonight? What are your thoughts on the new format and so what they're trying to do with the Australian title and Australian boxing?
I mean, it's been a good night so far. Each fighter has been very willing, and it's shown plenty of entertainment for the crowd. So I mean that's what it's about. So I'm looking forward to these next two fights. It's going to be a good finish of the night.
Perfect. And is there anyone so far that's impressed you in any of the earlier fights in the evening?
Jake in the last fight, Jake Carr did show definitely a lot of glimpses of impressing me. So I think he's still got a bit of improvement to go, but he's definitely working his way to where he needs to be.
Yeah, definitely. If he carries on the way he is, maybe a couple of years' time we can see Jake Carr and Daniel Geale at super middleweight.
Yeah, you never know.
So look, thanks a lot for your time, Daniel. I know you've got to get back, but appreciate your time and say wish you all the best in the future.
Excellent.
Cheers,
Thanks a
mate.
lot.